All right, we are live. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Beautiful people out there. You know how computers can be. They have their own personality. Technology does its own thing when it want to do its own thing. And
Yeah.
especially when you just have a crazy day as is, it's like it's just getting the mood of your day. So
Mhm.
we are happy to be here with Miss Nena, looking out beautiful over there.
Girl,
So how's your day going so far?
it's going.
It's going.
I'm here. That's all that matters, you know?
Exactly. You're here, you're healthy, you're smiling. That's all that
Exactly.
matters.
Absolutely. Because I was stressed. I said, Lord, let me make this, and I made it. So we good. The rest of the
We
day can
good.
be one.
The thing is, that's life. Everything is not gonna go perfect. That's why we pivot along the way, and that's why we who we are as
Mhm.
strong women doing our thing and
Mhm.
getting things done. So
Right. Exactly.
So it was to be just to give everybody a little background. So both of us, well, Nina came down here from for Southwest, South by Southwest, and
Mhm.
I live in the area, and it was at Ink's Founders House event that we went to, and Black women, we just compliment. Oh, girl, you cute. And Miss Nina came up later on, and she was like, "I got to get. Well, let me let you." We'll tell your own story.
Yeah, so actually, we didn't even know the conference was taking place. We just were there for a meeting,
Oh,
and he invited us to the Inc. event that we went to. And so when we went there, I don't know, I just kept seeing you, and I was just like, I feel like I need to talk to her. That's just how I am. I always go with my heart. I'm not a thinker. I'm just a doer, you know. So
yeah.
I just walked up to you and I said, my heart is telling me to introduce myself to you. And you were like, oh, hi. And I just like, well, what are you doing? You told me that I told you, and here we are.
Today. See.
Yes.
So while you're in it, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Whew, I do a lot. For the particular brand, I am a Air Force veteran. I served 13 years in the Air Force, separated, yes, at 13 years, had 7 left, and decided, I just want to do other things. And it wasn't even anything serious. I just said, you know what? I feel like I can do more. I feel like my brain is worth more than this, right?
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
I got out of the military and I pretty much jump started into full time entrepreneurship. All gas, no brakes, just kind of just jumped into it. And I've been doing it now for 3 years. And since then, I have opened three businesses.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
yeah, so I'm not doing what I was doing prior to, me getting out. I actually stopped doing that, and I caveated into a luxury mobile hookah brand. I'm the co-owner of Avisha Luxury Hookah. I am also the owner and founder of Queen's Cleaning, which is a residential cleaning and professional organizing company. And I also just recently opened I'm a co-founder of Wealthbuilderz Collective, which is what I'll be talking to you guys about today.
That is
So that's a lot of things that I do. I also do life coaching, brand coaching,
yeah,
help entrepreneurs who want to really get real with themselves and their brand. So I
that
do
is
it.
beautiful. Just before I go to the next question, how was that transition? Because you have people that are coming out of the military and they
Mm-hmm.
don't know what to do. Sometimes they just get stuck like that. They just don't know. That is a big culture shock sometimes, especially if you're now active and then you're going into corporate. It's like trying to get in your footing in those areas.
Mm-hmm.
How did you do it?
I just did it honestly. A lot of people, people ask me this question a lot, and I always wish I had like this big grand thing that I did. And I just basically I got out, and I always say it's a mindset thing. I
Mm.
had a mindset that I want to do more, and I just basically broke down how I could do more, and I just got to work. So essentially, first I wanted to get a job, right? I was in an interview to get a job, and I said, you know what, I'm going to get a job. And then halfway through the interview, and they asked that fateful question of, where do you see yourself in 5 years? I'm like,
Might not
not
here.
here. And I knew I couldn't answer that the way I wanted to. So I was like, okay, I need to do something else. So then I ended up, getting out, and then I had literally like no real plan, to be honest. I just was like, okay, I know I can do this. I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I know I can do it because I'm me. So when people ask, like, what was your plan? I'm like, me, I'm my plan, you know? And I just say, I got rid of my fear of failure, and I got rid of my ego. That was the biggest thing. And being okay with doing anything that I needed to do to get where I needed to be. So I got out, was doing Uber, Instacart. I was doing, at that time, I was planning events. I just hit my events, really hard, getting money for that, and just really took advantage of, my military benefits. And I just kind of made it work. I had to sacrifice a lot, but I'm still standing 3 years later, and it's getting better, a lot better.
Awesome. But it's true, that almost cliche, but if you got to bet on somebody, you need to bet on yourself. So that's what you did. You bet on yourself, and you're winning right now. So
it was a risky bet. Do not recommend unless you bet that life, but yeah, I did it.
The thing is, with that, you in a sense that your strengths, your weaknesses. You might not know them, that you can list them down, but it's an innate ability. So like in yourself that I can do this, and this, and you know how to push yourself. So like I say, you bet on anybody, you bet on yourself. And you keep
a lot of people, they wait for this grand plan, they wait for this grand plan or this grand revelation that they're gonna, that God is just gonna magically place the plan, in your hand, and then you just run with it. It doesn't work like that. You have to find it in you first, right? And then once you do that, you create the plan along the way. So
I agree totally. Like, I've done different things along the way too, kind of the same thing. But I always ask myself, this was my motto, like, what is my passion? Because my passion is going to lead me into my destiny. And that sometimes is very general, because my passion is to, allow people to, or help people to become the best version of themselves. But at the same time, you can do that in so many avenues. So what does that really mean for you?
Exactly.
And that's what I always say. If you figure out whatever that is, that passion is, and what that means to you, you're on to something. And you just need to narrow that down. So you feel like you got it, girl. You got it.
You just have to have that commitment and have your non-negotiables, be flexible. And another way that people usually fail, and I don't like to say the word fail, but they don't succeed in the way they intended, I like to call it that, is because they're so strict to the plan that they overplan themselves into failure. Where they're just so stuck on it happening A, B, and C, that if C becomes D, they're like, oh no, like I failed, and they just give up and feel like it's not for them. But I think my biggest winning trait is that I'm open to anything. I will start and stop anything that doesn't serve me or does serve me. If I feel like it's going to work, I'm going to do it. If it doesn't work, I'll stop.
You gotta be fluid, and then unapologetically just do you. Like, absolutely. I don't need everybody's permission when I change directions. If you are in people bondage, I don't think you'll ever be a good entrepreneur, because you're always going to be changing and evolving.
Yes, that term is everything. Yes. People bondage is a real thing, because I'm telling you, you know how many people kindly slid me, job interviews, or referred me to jobs against my will, or, they kindly say, maybe you should think, all these different things that could have easily swayed me. And some days it still works. And some, for a second, where I'm like, maybe I should just give all this up and just go the right, because it's easier. You know what I mean? But I have to stay true to myself. That's why I say it's important to have your non-negotiables that you created for yourself with no outside influences.
Right. Exactly. I agree totally. So tell us more about your company, Wealthbuilderz Collective.
Well, so Wealthbuilderz Collective essentially is an initiative that I started with Elisa Garcia, otherwise known as Lisa Allaby. She is the money person. She is the creator of wealth. She's a real estate investor and developer. She has all these different amazing things that she's working on, and she has also a big heart and wants to spread her knowledge and help other people make money along the way. So I am someone who needs to learn how to make money along the way. So essentially what we're doing is I'm kind of serving as, a guinea pig in a sense, to show people that you can come into wealth without knowing anything about it, and you can use resources and learn about wealth. And basically giving them opportunities to be able to invest in wealth. Our motto, or our tagline, should I say, is, empowering everyday people with once in a lifetime opportunities. So what we're doing is we're taking, the empire that Alyssa is building, and we're giving people opportunities to be able to make wealth from it. For example, we'll have our Wealthbuilderz Collective affiliate program, where the properties that she's going to acquire, with or without the business, these are things she will acquire, but she's extending access to those properties so people can profit with like private events, retreats, and actually have access to luxury things, to change their thinking, to encourage them, to build wealth. And in addition to that, we are going to have financial literacy courses to teach people how, to build wealth. And so for me, I'm building right in front of their eyes, so they can actually see the process come, and I share what I learned along the way, and she shares what she already knows. So essentially you get two views on wealth and how you can invest in it. And we'll also have a program called Passport to Prosperity, where we would have women's retreats based on wealth building. So as you build, you get a stamp in your passport to go to the next.
Oh, I love that.
So we'll have, different retreats in some of the properties. We have properties basically all over the U.S., hopefully soon internationally, that we can be able to have, events, retreats, seminars, whatever, conferences, where we're basically teaching everyone that first, they're capable of wealth, and second, that these are the building blocks that you need. And last but not least, we're building a network to net worth program where anybody who can help you build wealth, we are vetting them for you and having them in a potential directory. So if you want to go into real estate investing, we will get you a broker or, an appraiser, and people that you can actually get in contact to that we know are good people that can help you build the wealth that you seek.
That's wonderful. I love that concept. If we were talking before, I was like, with what I'm doing, that I want to do for my ladies and will be doing, not just want to do, will be doing, because as a vet, a woman vet, we don't get the same opportunities and the same events or services or products. And the whole thing about the empowerment firm is about being able to service my women on a VIP level.
Exactly.
We don't, not that we don't mind getting our hands dirty and we've done that. I mean, that's who we are. But at the same time, a lot of us, and not all of us, this is the niche market, and most definitely, a lot of us like to get dressed up sometimes. We like the luxury life.
Yes.
Nothing wrong with that.
And we have to learn that there's nothing wrong with that.
It's absolutely nothing wrong. So for those ladies, I'm your girl.
Exactly. So we could, like I said, hopefully one day we'll collaborate on some amazing things, because essentially, our missions are, I don't want to say identical, but they parallel, just in different avenues. So I'm focusing on the wealth aspect of it, so that women, from different backgrounds, I feel like especially veterans, because what happens when you get out of the military. They tell you all these amazing benefits you're leaving, and that they almost make you feel like you cannot get this anywhere. Like, we're giving you the world and you're about to walk away from this. Granted, the stuff, the benefits are great, but there's more out there for you. And I've made it my personal mission to tell people and show people through my life that there is more, and you can definitely achieve it. You just have to place yourself in the right positions, in the right conversations, and in the right environments to get the wealth, internal and financial wealth that you seek.
Exactly. Place yourself in that room. I always say, yes, you got to.
Positioning is extremely important.
It is very important. So what are your areas of expertise?
Overall, or are we talking about just that? We have not specific with me, girl.
So your areas of expertise on this journey of wealth building, what have you seen are your areas of expertise?
I have learned that my areas of wealth expertise is, first of all, giving people, I call myself the queen of streams, because I help people monetize. Monetizing is my passion, and monetizing is my purpose, I say. I call myself a master monetizer, because I can help you no matter what background that you're in, no matter what you think you want to do with your life, or you did with your life. I can give you 4 to 5 ways to make money off of anything, because that's essentially how I've made it, this far is because I've been very adaptable and very creative. So not only can I help you like create a way that you can make the money, I can give you each way. I can give you 2 or 3 ways to achieve it, after we get the initial ways. So my biggest expertise is being creative and helping you find the resources, network you, and help position you to get in the right, rooms and have the right conversations. I'm very good at helping people network to get their wealth, and I'm very good at creating different ways, no matter the budget, for you to reach the goals that you seek. So you're never incapable of wealth, and I can help you realize that internally, and I can always help you realize that financially too, because like I said, I got out of the military with $0, zero nothing. I didn't even get my first disability check till I was a year in. Okay, wow. So I literally survived, and then this is something I'm not proud of. That's back before I let go of my ego. I didn't even get on unemployment at any point. So I'm literally making it off of grit, creativity, and monetizing. So you can give me anything, and I can say, okay, what kind of income do you want? I'm the queen of streams. Any kind of income you want, I can help you make it.
I can relate when you said that, because a lot of people, of course, it's a stereotype, especially when it comes to Black women. They think, I don't know what it is. I don't understand, because the statistics say so much otherwise. Yeah. But we have such a pride sometimes. And even when we need the help, we don't get the help, or we don't reach out to the help because we don't like how that makes us feel. Like, right. I don't like it how it makes me feel, so I ain't gonna do that. So we rather grit and bootstrap it until we get what we want. And I'm so much like that. That it's just, like I said, it's not popular belief, but Black women are very prideful, and we don't usually get the handouts majority of the time. And like I said,
we have it in our head a lot of times that it's not for us, in a sense, but we feel like that's for them, that's not for us. Right. And I realize that runs deep in a lot of things. Yes. Even me, cleaning business, I realized that a lot of Black women don't want to hire a cleaner because hiring help equates to failure. The same thing with getting help for wealth, or understanding that wealth is for them. A lot of times we as a race, or we as women, so we kind of have the double whammy as Black women, because we always think that wealth is for a white man, right? We always equate wealth with some white man in a suit, which essentially wealth does look like that in a lot of occasions, but that doesn't exclude us. That just means that we have to do a lot more work to get the resources that they were born with, right? Yeah. So that's what Wealthbuilderz Collective is about, is we want to be able to bridge that gap where people feel like they're not capable of it, where they don't have, access to the resources that they need. So that's our entire purpose is, okay, you want resources, you have the network to net worth group. You have different people you can network with. What's your excuse now? You have none. We're offering you different ways to make money. We're offering you investment properties. We're offering you, information. We're bridging the gap to help people like us understand first that you are capable of the wealth that you seek. And that's another expertise that I have in my life coaching, is I help people understand that they are capable of everything.
They're capable and they're worth it. Like, yes, I love this. So how would you define wealth building? What is your definition?
I honestly, my definition of wealth building is different now that I've learned it, right? So
how was it before, and then what is it now?
Before, I thought I'm not gonna lie, that's why I'm a great guinea pig for this, because I had to reformat my entire thinking. Yeah. So when I was younger, in the military, my mindset was that wealth building required you to take a lot of money, put it in the right places to get back a lot of money, right? So you had to have the money first, is what I thought, initially, or you had to know the right people, or you had to be born into wealth. That's what I thought in the beginning. And it sounds cliche, but that's literally what I thought. I kind of wrote it off on myself. But now I understand that wealth starts with the mindset. So you have to understand that I'm a big believer in the law of attraction. You have to attract what And you can only attract wealth if you live, eat, sleep, and behave in a wealthy way. So you have to think wealthy thoughts about yourself. You have to think wealthy thoughts about your abilities, and you have to be open to do whatever it is you have to do to make those sacrifices, because sacrifices are, necessary.
They are necessary.
Yeah. So you basically have to start. I say wealth begins and ends with you, because you are the common denominator for the wealth. The money is just the incentive.
Right. It's so true. I tell people, for me, this is how I think. Wealth is actually almost like a frequency.
Yes.
If you get in the right frequency, you have no problem being wealthy.
Yes, absolutely.
You have to, like you said, it's a mindset. If you're not vibrating on the frequency, you can have, broke frequency, or you can have wealth frequency. People see that, and you can have 2 pennies in your pocket, but still people are seeing the value in you because you're vibrating.
They invest in you. Yeah.
Yes. So it's like, once you get that in your head, things change for you.
Absolutely. And it'll change whether you try to or not. That's the gag of it all. Is because people always ask me, like, how do you make it? And I always say, my motto was always, the hustle will provide. Because no matter what I've done or what I've needed, I've been at this for 3 years. I got out with nothing. Like, I had nothing. My daughter has not missed a single meal. She still gets to go on vacations just because I have always trusted in me, right? And I knew that as long as I make the right decisions, and even if I make the wrong decisions, you have to look at things like they flow, like a river. And they're going to flow. It's not necessarily that you stop flowing. You just flowed in a different direction than what was desirable. But you have to believe that at the end of the journey of flowing, there's always going to be your well in your good. You know what I mean? So you have to trust in that. And I feel like that's where wealth begins. And that's where wealth building starts. Once you get that in your mind, and not just understand it, embrace it, and embody it in everything that you do, you can find the wealth in the many resources that you have out here. I mean, there's literally no excuses. You have the power of a 1980 library in your pocket.
Right.
Actually more powerful in your pocket at all times. So you are limitless in your potential. You have a actual computer, a powerful computer on you 24 hours a day. You have resources, programs, other people like you that want to see you win. Why can't you be wealthy?
Like you said, it's something about. Hey, Marilyn, thanks for joining. It like you said, it really does start in your mind, because once you switch that, because thoughts are things. They really are. If you change your thoughts, because it's like, change your thought, and in changing your thought, you're changing how you speak. And when you're changing how you speak, you're changing how things are manifesting in your life, because you literally are the creator of your life. You are literally an artist creating a masterpiece. When you realize that each stroke is whatever you design it to be, and create how beautiful the tapestry you want to create, you can create that, you can do that. But it starts in the mind.
Absolutely.
So right now we're just creating a beautiful tapestry, and everybody, like you said before, as you're flowing, it's just like, you, even though, say you thought this was a mistake, those mistakes are lessons. So it's like when you're growing up and you touch something and it's hot. Okay, I know not to touch that again. It's a lesson learned. So as you go further down the line, and that fire is hotter than the original fire, you just tore a whole mess, because you learned that first lesson at first, when it's that little hot touch right there. But this big fire over there, you're like, oh, that's 10 times worse than this little.
Yeah.
I want to do that all the way and just miss out on all of that hard lesson over there. So those lessons create who we are. They give us, thicker skin. They show us what we need to be, and it just makes us a beautiful. I think a more whole. If you're always winning, you're not learning the lessons that you need to learn. Absolutely. And I feel like if you're always, especially if you're always winning at first, those lessons are learned. So when you get to the top, people can easily manipulate and deceive you because you haven't been in those hard lessons.
Mm-hmm.
So when you learn those hard lessons and you go through life and the things happen and you don't like it, it could be so much worse. Not that people don't go through hellacious situations at 1st,
Mm-hmm.
but if you're thinking about like this can be so much worse. I learned the lesson. I
Right.
got these spidey senses now. When something comes up that's similar to that, all my spidey senses are coming now.
Exactly.
I'm gonna deter this hard lesson and keep on
Yes.
going on. So I think, like I said, it's a beautiful tapestry, good, bad, or indifferent. We're gonna overcome and we're gonna do great things.
Yeah, that's why I say the first step in learning wealth is unlearning wealth or what you thought wealth was. Because one thing I noticed off top when I started reading the books and listening, everyone's like, "Oh, you expecting to go into this is what you need to do with your money, blah blah blah." They always talk mindset first, always. Any book that you read or whatever, the first part you're going to always read about is mindset. And it's funny how we always skip that part and think that you have to have all this money to get the wealth. But it's honestly, the wealth is where your awareness is. If your awareness is shifted to wealthy things, wealth will come to you naturally. So the biggest thing is unlearn what you think you know about wealth and learn it for yourself first through you and understand what you're capable of, and then look at the resources, the millions of resources around here.
Exactly.
Because Elisa learned, real estate investment and developing through YouTube and, books, YouTube. Everybody a lot of these people are walking around with money from YouTube alone. It's a free app. It's a free app. Like, it's right there on your phone.
You can't tell me nothing. You can literally go on YouTube and Google anything you want to Google.
Anything. You can learn how to do open heart surgery right now on YouTube if you want to. You literally can. I checked it out because I was like, I always said, let me ask you, look, you can. So tell me again how you can. I hate when people say, oh, I want to do what you're doing, but I didn't have anybody who mentored me. She is not mentoring me. She's making me learn it on my own.
Right. I'm so glad you said a lot. Again, this is I can only speak for the Black community. We don't have a lot of that mentorship. Not that it's not out there. I'm just saying in general. We don't have a lot of that mentorship. We don't have a lot of the family passing on information or sitting you down to, show you or, have, whatever it is, because we're always, each generation is usually starting from ground zero.
Right.
And that's a no-go. So when you're saying that that's what we need also in our community, that's again with the empowerment firm for the women that are in the military service or veteran. That's why I said from recruitment to retirement, there are a lot of benefits out there. Well, half of them you don't even know about. Yep. And how can you utilize what you don't know and what you don't know to ask? So a lot of us, that's why it's good to have, a group, your tribe, like those like-minded people that are wanting to succeed and willing to, give information back and forth. It is so true. Maryland said YouTube University. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I'm a graduate, honey, with honors. Listen, every single business I've built, and I'm not being dramatic, every single business I've built started with YouTube. Every last one. And when I started my hookah business, I didn't know nothing about hookah. I YouTubed it. Now I'm a little baby hookah prodigy. I didn't create all these, different flavors. Like we have to quit waiting on a savior and realize that we are the savior. And it sounds so cliche, and I know people have heard it all the time, but it's true.
See, I say it in a different. I said I'm not asking permission. I'm taking over. Exactly. That's what I say all the time. I'm not asking permission because it seems like people are almost asking permission to learn, to develop, to grow. In a sense, they're not literally asking, but in the actions, it's like
confirmation.
You're trying to find a way out of this. Well, I don't have this. Not a lot of us didn't, a lot of us didn't have the mentors. A lot of us didn't have the education. A lot of us, and we went out there to get it done regardless. And some of us went to get education. I do have a master's degree, but I sought that out because that's what I wanted to do, to have the skill set. But a lot of that is not pertaining to what I'm going to do in my business. So I still got to seek out community. I still got to seek
Look,
out.
I'm getting my MBA right now. I'm still on YouTube.
Exactly. You are a life learner. You're never going to know it all. You got to seek out community and education that's going to benefit you and what you want to do. But if you're waiting for somebody to hand it to you, sweetheart,
you'll be waiting forever. You'll be waiting forever. And that's the biggest thing that I try to tell people is don't wait on anybody else. You're waiting for, a lot of people wait for confirmation or validation from someone else. And so I always ask people, so who made that person, when they come to me with that, I ask them, what validates them as an approval authority for your life? Right. Why does their opinion even matter? Even if they've done everything that you want to do, their life is different than yours. Your path is different than yours. Yeah. And they say, well, I'm taking too long. Where is there a rubric on how long it should take?
Right.
When you break it down and really see things for what they are, it opens up so much more, because I always tell people to check your lens in the way that you're viewing the world. If you're viewing the world through a place of lack, or a place of, scarcity, or a place of fear, that's all you're going to see. That's all you're going to see. But you have to clear your lens and open yourself to anything. And that's the biggest thing. And there's so many different ways to build wealth, especially in 2022. Yeah. I was just looking up, Turo yesterday. Mm-hmm. Turo is for those that don't know, Turo is a rental car app, basically the Uber for rental cars. And you can go get a rental car. And a lot of people are making wealth just off of that. They just take a car that they already own, and when they're working from home, and they are, selling, renting their car out for the days they're at home, and paying for their car payment, and then some by renting their car out. And then I know someone recently, because I'm using Turo right now, the one that I used it from before, he started out with one car. His ex-wife actually left him with the car to be petty in a divorce because it was a broken down car. So they thought, so he put it on Turo, and he used the money that he got from that Turo to buy more. Now he has a fleet of 25 cars. What? He's putting in $30,000 a month, and he doesn't have to leave his house. Wow. Like, that's the way 2022 is set up, that there are so many different resources. And that's where I come in as the master monetizer, where I can take what you have and give you 20 different ways to make money off of it. Anything that's in your house, anything you have sitting around, you can make money off your brain. Right. You can make money for being yourself these days. Right, exactly. You have these kids on YouTube, TikTok making millions off of just being themselves. And you mean to tell me that wealth is out of reach for you? Right. So that's why I basically just break it down, help people understand that wealth is all around you. It's almost like when you're in a ticket dispenser, at the Chuck E. Cheese, the tickets everywhere. You just have to just reach for whatever you can grab, and then really learn about the several streams of income and how you can meet all of them.
That's beautiful. Because actually, that was our next question, but we answered it.
Oh, did I? My bad.
No, good thing, because we're on. That's what I said. When we're flowing with this thing, it was how would you suggest people get started in wealth building? Change your mindset.
Well, yeah, and I want to, add some stuff to that, because I actually thought about that question. So that's gonna be the question I think about, because I know I ramble. So the first thing I said was, I wrote it down, to unlearn, that, and then also assess your finances, right? Mm-hmm. So sometimes people feel like, they have to make this big amount of money, and you essentially don't. You just have to assess the finances that you have to see how you can work it in your favor. So if you either need to make more money or do better with the money you have, there's really no in between. That's literally it. So you need to assess your finances. If there are things that you can cut, let's say if you have a car payment right now, for me, I chose to do the sacrifice route. I tried to get cars that are paid off and things like that. And the money that I save, I invest in other things to make me money. So you can always assess your finances, really look at what you truly need, and you need to first understand that stop trying to keep up with the Joneses, because usually what the Joneses have keep them in debt. And basically First off, think what life looks like to you. Identify what successful looks like to you, because success looks like different for everyone else. And like I tell people all the time, many times people spend their money more on the proof of success than being actually wealthy and successful, because you want proof to the world that, oh, I have this car. Do you need that car? Does the car need to be that new? That's, you know, there's things that you can ask yourself, or that they want proof. Oh, I want to, you know, live this lavish lifestyle. Does you need to go out to eat 6 or 7 times a week? Is that necessary for your survival? Is that what your actual, no kidding, look of success actually looks like?
Right.
Is that what it looks like? Is that what, if you are on your deathbed and you look back, are you going to smile and say, I ate at so many good restaurants? Probably not. So you have to go back and invest in the things that, you know, are going to, you know, take you there. And those small investments can add up if you use them right. So in that process, you also have to get comfortable with risk and learn to love risk. And because the only way you're going to get the rewards is if you take the risk. Like they say, you know, scared money don't make no money, right?
You're right.
You have to be okay with putting money into something that could yield you results. You're not always going to get it right, especially as you grow. If you're nervous, that's cool. Do small investments, but work your way up eventually. This is a lesson I learned because I was playing it super safe at first, where I'm just like, oh, you know, but then I'm like, no, you know what? You got to go all in sometimes and just hope for the best, because you got to think you're probably being reckless in other aspects of your life.
Sure are.
So you might as well shift that reckless to something that can actually bring you forward. Because I'm pretty sure you were recklessly eating, you know, some food you weren't supposed to be eating. You probably drank yourself, you know, silly the other day. That's reckless too. Why are we okay with that, but we're not okay with spending money on something else?
That's a good point. I like how you put that. I've never heard it. I love that.
Yeah, so you got to shift your reckless. You're probably doing something that is not going to yield you results, but you are being reckless at that moment. So why not take that same level of audacity and put it towards something that's going to give you long-term results? Why not invest in yourself and say, okay, even if I lose this money, guess what? I learned what not to do. Because when you're investing in that sense, you always win, essentially, because if you put into a stock and the stock, you know, makes you broke, you know what stock to not invest in. You would never known had you not done it. So what you don't gain in money, you gain in experience. So once you understand it's a win-win, you learn to embrace risk and really embrace reward, because that's the only way you're going to get there. The last thing is your environment. Well, second to last thing, your environment is really important. If you want wealth, surround yourself with wealth. Find people who are doing 10 times better than you, 5 times better than you, and 2 times better than you.
Right.
Contact with them. So the thing that changed my mindset the most was talking to Elisa every day and hearing, you know, she always says little things like, okay, you think I'm broke? And then when I read that book, I was like, oh crap, I have so many broke thoughts. Oh my God. So
you're a broke.
Yeah, like, oh, these broke habits. And so once you surround yourself, have people around you that are going to have you looking side-eyeing yourself for making broke decisions. If you surround yourself with broke people, guess what's going to happen? You are going to normalize being broke. You're not only going to normalize it, you're going to internalize it, whether you like it or not, because your reality consists of where your awareness is. If you have people that are constantly you're sharing laughs about how broke you are inviting that in your flow.
It's so not funny.
It's so not funny. And I learned that because I used to do that. I used to, you know, even my best friend, I tell her that she owns 2 homes, but she calls herself homeless. And I said, stop doing that, because she's one of those people that travels the world. She doesn't live in the homes. I said, stop doing that, because now you are manifesting homelessness in your life. Just because you have those 2 homes doesn't mean you got to keep those 2 homes. Things can happen. So you have to really think about your thoughts and surround yourself with people that are doing way better than you. Have access to them. And then last but certainly not least, use your resources. Please. I cannot reiterate that enough. There's so many good resources out here. So many people to emulate. So many people to talk to. Just like the ink thing. You can walk up to a business owner, a more wealthy business owner. Had I not, you know, I didn't even know the honeypot owner.
I missed her. I
didn't even know that was her. I was like, wait, and I'm like, she's pretty. I was like, she's giving.
I seen her going out, and I was like, it has to be her. but I totally missed her. Oh, I wish I was talking.
Listen, let me tell you. And then that's the last thing. Don't be afraid to shoot your wealth shot. Okay. So in that situation, we had something we were working on. Old me would have just walked by because I'm like, she has more things to do than talk to me. But when I internalized that what I'm trying to do is important, I felt empowered to go up to her and say, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. Do you want to join in? You know what I mean? And it worked. So it's like, look, you have to actually talk to these people, and don't be afraid to talk to these people. Just because you don't know, because I'm in this room talking in that visit, I'm talking to people who have millions of dollars, and I don't have millions of dollars yet.
Right.
And yeah. I said, yet. But you know what? Sometimes you got to fake it till you make it, and finesse the universe and say, you know what? I don't have it right now. As I say, my wealth is buffering. However, when it loads, it's with.
It's retroactive, girl.
I tell people, I tell my friend, she's so tired of hearing me say that. I say, girl, my wealth get done buffering, it's over. I'm buying now. She's like, yeah, girl, let it buffer. And that's another thing. Find people that join in your delusion.
Right.
Delusion. That'll jump and like, yeah, girl, when you get it, buy me this. I will, girl.
Girl. Because my dreams don't make sense. Like, they literally don't make sense.
And if it makes sense, it's not big enough.
Right. And so I can't have nobody around. Because first of all, like, again, I tell people all the time, I will kick you out my life quick with some foolishness. Yeah. So don't come and come and try to dampen my dreams now.
Yes.
Real quick for that.
Listen, assess who you talk to. Like, I don't have time in my day. If I'm trying to reach wealth, right. I don't have time. I'm not going to gossip about anybody, or I'm not going to do things like that, because guess what? Now I'm making a karmic debt. Now karma's going to have to pay me. I'm increasing my karmic debt. I'm not giving karma a reason to pay me because I only want good to come to my life. So you have to assess everything. From the people you talk to, how you spend your time. I don't watch TV really anymore. I do it from time to time. But if it's draining me, if it's not fueling you, it's draining you. Mm-hmm. Right? So it's you have to position yourself mentally, physically, emotionally to receive everything that's coming your way. And like I said, assess your people and shift your awareness.
Yep, absolutely. So, like, tell us about some events that are coming up. What's going on in your life? What can we support and help you with or promote for you?
Yeah, so, you're talking about with Wealthbuilderz Collective, because I got a whole slew.
Girl, whatever you want to do.
Okay, so for Wealthbuilderz Collective, as you probably don't, I don't think I mentioned it. I live in Washington, D.C., and I'm going to host on April 9th a meetup for people who want to join Wealthbuilderz Collective. I'm going to keep doing things like that. I want to eventually do it around next. I'm actually trying to come back to Austin. I was talking to Marilyn about that, and where I want to have meetups, have, opportunities, because the good thing about Elisa, if you have a good idea right then and there, she's going to tell you exactly what you need to do to make it come true. And so we want to have a lot of intimate events, because the sad part, because what people have already preconceived about the kind of things that we're doing, they automatically assume, and it makes us mad that it's an MLM, that there's no way these Black girls can be doing this, no other way. So to debunk that, we want to keep it as intimate as possible until we grow, where we need to grow. And then we'll start doing the large thing. But on April 9th, I'll be having another intimate event. We had one last month, went really well. We had a lot of people that got a lot of their ideas launched. So we have that. I'm going to keep having those. And then eventually, if you go on the site, wealthbuilderzcollective.com, the events will be posted there. Where we'll be, we're going to eventually travel. We're actually trying to go to places like Nigeria soon, Atlanta. We're trying to basically go worldwide with it and working our resources. The thing I love about Elisa, I love her to life, because she is not scared to ask for anything. If something, she'll be like, look, I want to have something here, and it has opened so many doors for us. So we're actually just going to be, going from place to place. For my hookah business, though, we're having an event called Anchor Fest on June 19th. It is a Juneteenth celebration for African American culture. We're basically going to be combining African, culture and American culture in an Afrofusion contest. We're going to have Afrofusion food, live performances from African celebration dancers, drummers. It's going to be a vibe. So we have, those are the two things that I'm working on right now, but we'll have more coming out and it'll be all on the site.
So with that, when you get time, put it in the comment section so we can try to support that. For all those links, we want to support what's going on. So getting to close, any closing words of advice for everybody, I should say?
I've been giving advice this whole time. So look, I just really want people to stop counting themselves out, right? Understand who you are. And like I always say in my segment, I'm on a radio show, by the way, Miss O Show. I have a life coach segment. And I tell people all the time, put some respect on your name, right? Audacity your default setting, right? So that's my biggest takeaway. Make Audacity your default setting. Have the audacity to go for everything that you want. Have the audacity to tell people who you are. Have the audacity to know who you are and be unapologetic about it, and understand that, you are capable of everything that you seek, and that wealth is not a white man's game. It's for everybody. And you have to truly embrace that and truly learn that the system is rigged, but it's not rigged to where it's impossible. Because I hate to say that it's not rigged at all, because it is. Let's be real. We saw what just happened with the Supreme Court justice. We saw that, right? We know there's some obstacles we got to go through. We got to do a little bit more, but that doesn't mean count yourself out. So also, again, I'm an open book. So if anybody wants to reach me, to talk about anything that they want to work through. Also, if any question I can't answer, I can find somebody who can. I guarantee you that I'm very good at networking. So if any questions, they can always hit me up and I will help them out.
Awesome. So where do we reach you at?
Woo, I got a lot of, you can find me in the chat. So on Facebook, my personal brand page, I'm actually still making it, but it will be Queen of Streams, KWEENOF Streams. I'll put it in the comments. Okay. And then also you can meet, same thing on IG, Queen of Streams, for Wealthbuilderz Collective, or Wealthbuilderz Collective on Facebook and Instagram. Also wealthbuilderzcollective.com. NneNna.com is coming out too, so you can find me there, and everything that I do will be listed on that. And yeah, I can post all the links. I have so many links, girl. We're talking about that.
So everybody, we're gonna post all her links.
Yes, I'll post the link.
This one of them gonna get her.
You can look. I can't run from anybody because you can find me anywhere.
But this was so much fun. Thank you so much. We will clearly be networking and doing something.
Yeah, we need to do another segment for cleaning and how it helps with depression and mental wellness.
Yeah, we do need to do that. Okay, we are going to do that.
That's another message I'm big on.
Yes, I love that, because I am so anal when it comes to it. Literally, because my sister was just here this weekend, and when people are in your house, it literally shifts your energy, or good or bad. Yes. And when they leave, it's like you need to clean up and do certain stuff to switch it back to what it is for you to function. Mm-hmm. Like, I am very anal about my home. Like, I have to have it in a place where I can function. Everything has a place. I need it in this place. I need it clean. I need it that way. So yes, that is.
Yes, I tell people all the time, when you hire me, I don't want your coins. I want you to have clarity. We're not here for coins. We're here for clarity. The coins come to keep the clarity coming.
Right. Ooh, that's so good. Yes, we will be having that.
It's a necessary message that people don't know they need.
Yes, I totally agree with that. Mm-hmm. So thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for coming out. I know it's a time of day that people are, doing what they need to do, but I appreciate it. So we will get in till next time.
Yes, ma'am.
You and you guys have a wonderful weekend. And bye-bye.
Bye. Oh, cool.